Well, good morning, everybody. Today is 20th of April, 2025. It's 6:15 in the morning. Boy, what am I doing up at this time on a Sunday? Easter. It's Easter over here. And walking by here, just wanted to show you guys this. And it's incredible that what these birds do. Jeez, look at this. And it's like unused stuff. Maybe somebody left this here, I don't know. But I'm looking around this area, and I don't think the trash collector people work on Sunday, so unfortunately, and I hate seeing this. I'm tempted to want to go pick it up myself, but I happen to be filming a video. And on this day, at this time, you see people with their dogs are all over the place. Gosh, look at this. Makes you really wonder, how do the birds pull these friggin' bottles out? Here's, look at, this one's glass. And another one of glass. Look at this, glass bottles. I'll tell you what. It makes me wonder if some kind of a, what do you call them? Well, we don't really have homeless people here. Some people with a real bad alcohol problem may be looking for something. Because I can't believe that the birds are pulling all this stuff out of here. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm really tempted to pull this stuff out. Look at this, more booze bottles. What the heck was going on? Some kind of wine and snot sort of things here. Gosh, I'm sure the government's not going to like me showing this stuff. But it looks like a terrible trash day here. It's Easter. Hard to believe. Well, you guys turn in for news, so I'll get into news as well. As you know, today was supposed to be one of the deadlines for, what do you call it, this, a peace, the peace, not the piss plan, that's Zelensky's piss plan, but it was supposed to be Trump's peace plan. It was a deadline. So, all these trees, there's like cherry blossoms. A lot of them around. A lot of apples in Belarus, but these cherry blossoms really has nice scent. Uh-oh, looks like a cat that might be sick over there. More garbage. Let me see if this kitty looks okay. Oh yeah, looks like it's okay. Just taking a break or something. Black cat, love black cats. I just saw a black cat anyway a minute ago. Oh, it looks like an older guy. You okay? Are you okay? Well, looks like he's about ready to run. Something dripping out of his mouth. Hope he's not sick. Oh. Well, looks like he might be, but he'll take off running if I get close. He looks very suspiciously angry at me. Hope nobody poisoned the guy. Normally that doesn't happen. He might have eaten something bad. Very good. They're very good to cats here. I know of other cats around. They've been there for a couple of years. I go to other places, other towns, and I see cats. One has one eye, probably lost an eye in a fight. Real fluffy cat, and that's been around for a couple of years. Sits on the bench with people. Obviously people feed it. There's even men that do that. I even know men, they bring food and they feed cats. I'm one of them, of course. I wonder if I can walk on the main road here. This is Partizansky Platz out here, and normally it's too loud for me to actually walk here. I'm hoping today won't be too bad. Lots of cars coming here. Probably no trucks. Anyhow, look at another cat, mostly black. Run, kitty, run! Wow, 3 black cats. I would call that a black cat. 3 black cats this morning. Maybe this lady's taking her cat out for a walk. I don't know. But I doubt it. Okay. Let's get into some news here. Okay, what else? I was talking yesterday a lot about, this big problem that the European Union has with Christians. And it's a very strange thing what's going on. They're importing, and I don't really understand it. They're importing a lot of people that are mostly Muslims from lots of different Muslim places. But it's not just Muslims, so I don't know if the aim is to bring a whole bunch of Muslims in, but a lot of people have put out that there's a problem like with George Soros, and apparently he's still in the driver's seat. We all were suspecting, at least us people that were making these blogs like this, blogs, whatever you call it, we were thinking that originally that George Soros was on his own doing this, and then we saw that he's getting a huge amount of money from the US government, from taxpayers, coming right out of the American people and everybody's pockets, basically. It's the world reserve currency, meaning that everybody is paying for that. Everybody on earth pays for wherever the United States government allocates this money. So, and one of the places, look at some more blossom trees. I should just go there just to smell the nice cherry blossoms. At least I know of some trees that produce cherries, and it's have a very nice fragrance, and that's cherry blossom. So I'll just walk over this way. Actually, I wanted to head down the other way and see. There's this Soviet. Well, it's still designed Soviet. It still looks like Soviet. It's like a restaurant place, and I've seen when I was jogging in the mornings, maybe on Sundays, maybe it was Saturday morning, you see some kind of people that were partying all night standing out in front. So I wanted to see what it's like now. Oh wow. Oh, too bad you guys can't smell this nice fragrance. Anyway, strange guy. And look at him. I'm so strange I get up at 6. These guys probably have something to do, like this guy walking here. But not me. I'm going to start jogging soon. Again. As soon as my classes are over, and I believe this might be my last week. But here, I'm supposed to be talking about news. Anyway, get back into it. You know, this I don't really understand what is going on and what the whole purpose is, and a lot of people have been saying for many years, actually for more than a decade, that the whole idea is to destroy people's identities all over the world. And George Soros obviously is trying to make the world in his image, whatever he likes, and he's thinking if he destroys that, then they can control people a lot easier, because they won't have a common identity, and they cannot, say, get together in groups to go after the elites that are taking advantage of them, apparently. So he's helping. Why isn't Bernie Sanders talking about this? You know, he's talking about this oligarchy thing, but he's going up the wrong tree. And apparently Elon Musk, he does not want to be any part of this George Soros sort of stuff. He doesn't like George Soros. George Soros doesn't like him either. So, you know, they've got a lot of crazy knuckleheaded liberal Democrats, whatever the heck you want to call them, people that are incapable of actually thinking straight, going after Elon Musk. And they even have people that work for, who was that? Somebody they have on camera scratching up a Tesla, some kind of a political person. It was incredible. I don't know who that was, but the guy's probably going to be in big trouble. Apparently a lot of these Teslas have cameras on them. Apparently it's very interesting. And I don't know if these people know that, but they're going around and taking keys or whatever when they're walking their dogs or jogging or something, and scratching up the side of Teslas, writing messages, and probably putting swastikas on there, you know. But actually it's their symbol, not Elon Musk's symbol. Really crazy stuff, costing a lot of money. And maybe a lot of these people were Democrats, and they bought themselves these Teslas at a time when they liked Elon Musk. Makes me wonder what this is. Some kind of a cable or something. Look at this sunrise over there. Okay, I still got a ways to go to get to that restaurant, so I'm just sort of wasting time. But anyway, a lot what I didn't talk about. I was mentioning yesterday that I was seeing this like well over a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago, about what is going on. And it's like, then it was like a war against Christianity, because it was happening in Syria, and the leader was Bashar Assad, and he's a Christian. And of course they don't like to mention that in the West, because then people might say, well, we should have looked at him a little bit closer and see if he's this evil, brutal dictator that they tell everybody he is. And he's not, actually. Obviously he's not, because even people that are on our side, you know, on the information world, you know, they say, well, they might say he's a brutal, oh, I don't support him. And I don't really know what the whole reason for that is, because I talk to people from Syria, some that like him, some that don't, or people from Lebanon or nearby, and they talk about how bad Assad is. And I said, well, bad people do bad things. So what did he do? What are oh, he's bad. I said, yeah, okay, bad people, they do some bad things. What did he do? Oh, he's a bad guy. And it's incredible. And you give them a chance, and you come the next day and you say, you still didn't tell me what did he do that's bad? Oh yeah. And then they talk about this thing about they might come up with this, oh, he's gassing his own people. And then of course there is zero evidence that he was doing it, and there was no gassing anyway. And it turns out it was the White Helmets, which at that time they were aligned with Saudi Arabia, and also working for Western states. And it wasn't even a poisonous gas necessarily. And they happened to have, whoever did it when the UN inspectors were there. So it's like, would Assad be doing that? Absolutely not. And he had never used any chemical weapons on anybody. And he was only having chemical weapons because Israel has nuclear weapons as well as chemical weapons and all sorts of things. And they actually use them. They use chemical weapons, white phosphorus. They rain white phosphorus onto children. They've been doing that for many years. They got it from the United States. Just like Saddam Hussein, when he had chemical weapons, he got his from the United States as well. Oh, but the United States are a bunch of good guys. Yeah. Donald Rumsfeld, anyway, got the chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein. And then, of course, they never mentioned it right after Saddam Hussein. He gassed some kind of a village right near the border of Iran, because maybe their sympathies lied with more Iran, and that was during the Iran-Iraq war. And yeah, but it was given to them by the United States, and the United States never mentioned it. They never mentioned that he used this poisonous gas when he did. They waited for many, many years afterwards, when it was to their convenience, to start a war, the Iraq war against Saddam Hussein. And then he was a bad guy. Then they started mentioning it, maybe 2 decades later. But after he did it, oh no, that's not worth mentioning, I guess. Very weird. So let's see, is this that restaurant? I'm gonna get across the road while this light is green here. Looks like there's no party people outside. Maybe when I was coming by here, it was some sort of a group or something that traveled here or whatever, and they partied all night long. So let's see what's around this area, and I'll just show you this restaurant. It still has the Soviet look to it. Incredible, like the 1980s Soviet sort of a look. What the heck? It's a bad day for garbage. Look at this. All this stuff about the cleanliness of Belarus. I'll show you that in a bit. But look at, here it is. You still have the Soviet look to that. It's amazing, huh? A restaurant over there on the side. There's a dog with his ball. Okay. Till 5 in the morning. Wow. We work from 5 in the evening till, 5 in the evening till 5 in the morning. Look at that. Oh, people are coming out. Huh. Oh no, the guy's looking at me. Probably thinks I'm not allowed to film it. I should film it and just see how I can piss him off. What is it? So-called whatever. Huh. Who knows who that guy is? I wonder if the place is closed. I don't even want to go. That guy looked too weird. I don't want to have some kind of a confrontation with him. Like I said, look at this. What is this? Must have been a party night last night. I wonder what this bag is all about, or piece of plastic. Oh. Well, anyway. Looks like the birds didn't get here. Or maybe that was some kind of a drunk or something, I don't know, looking for booze at the bottom of some bottle in that other place. Look at that, real partying. Some things, look at here's, well, the drunk needs to head this way. It looks like somebody, what the heck is going on here? What are people doing this? I mean, so I guess because it's Easter, maybe doing some drinking, buying bottles, I guess. Look at this. There's probably also some kind of stuff. Anyway, let's forget about that. Let's keep going. Now I'll start with some news here. Jimmy Dore. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, before I get that far, I want to stay in line with my how I wrote things here. Yes. Putin called a ceasefire, as you know, and it's supposed to start yesterday, I guess, at 3 p.m. and it's supposed to go through Saturday. And a lot of people are thinking Ukraine's not going to follow it. And it looks like Zelensky actually ordered his people to go by that ceasefire, and he wants to extend it. And obviously he wants to extend it because it's to their advantage. He can refit and resupply all of his soldiers that are under heavy pressure. No, that's not cherry. I don't smell so much from those blossoms, but yeah, they're under heavy pressure, so he's obviously wants to use it. He wants to extend it, you know, to do as much as he possibly can. And I just mentioned yesterday that huge amounts of big shipments of German weapons arrived in Ukraine. So, and they don't want Russia to be bombing them while they're on their way to the units. And of course, as you know, a lot of those weapons will not even make it to those units. Some people are going to shave a lot of them off the top and start selling them all over into all kinds of different countries and to terrorist groups and things. You know, that's how it works in Ukraine. You guys all know that. It's happened so very often, and it's happened all the time. A lot of people say the aid that comes from the West, only 30% of it actually gets to the front line. So they shave off 70%, you know, of weapons and ammunition, money and everything. It's incredible. It makes you really wonder where this stuff goes. The world's a big place, you know, and these terrorists, they also need weapons. So I guess why not take U.S. weapons or German weapons or whatever that are coming there? And Ukrainians, the big deal is not their country. Most of these people don't care anything whatsoever about their country. They care about their own personal wealth, you know, and of course what buys wealth is also fame and possessions, everything like that. So they want to get rich. That's how that's going on. And as far as the other ceasefire, the energy infrastructure, you know, it did end on Friday, yesterday, but in the last up till, what was it, from, I think I wrote even the dates, did I or didn't I? Well, from Friday to Saturday, Friday at 3 till Saturday at 3, probably about the time my video was uploaded, Ukraine had violated that ceasefire in that 24 hours 10 times. And I don't know, a lot of the drones maybe not have gotten through. Some probably did. So they're still bombing the energy infrastructure, probably doing it today. And I think Zelensky does not have a lot of control over a lot of these Nazis and Nazi units and things that are there. So even if he told them to obey this Easter ceasefire, probably a lot of them are not. And Putin will probably know that, but if he has a big response of them, you know, not bombing, you know, especially not bombing civilians, and maybe he's going to look that there is a possibility that maybe they can do some sort of deals with Ukraine. A little husky doggy. Looks like he wants to be in the video here. Okay, Jimmy Dore. I was watching his channel on YouTube. He's very good. Jimmy Dore is very good, and he can talk about this. I can maybe kind of scoot around this a little bit, but I got to be very careful because I'm still within my, what is it called, trial or probation period from YouTube, and I'm not so much, I can't, like Jimmy Dore, I can't talk about COVID things, you know, and I believe I can say the word COVID, but they were getting, you know, taking me down for anything whatsoever, and But anyway, so he was talking about that there's this a website called covid.gov, and I guess it used to be promoting Fauci's things and all that, 6 feet distancing and wear your masks and all that sort of stuff. But I guess now it was revamped, and now it's actually telling the truth. You know, I think YouTube probably still wants us to keep telling the lie. Oh, wear a mask, social distancing, all that sort of stuff. Everything that turned out to be actually fake. To support Anthony Fauci, he's the greatest scientist. He is science. He is science, is what he says. And it turns out, you know, he lied so many times. And on this website, covid.gov, they point the finger right at him and say, you know, I mean, they expose the fact that he lied over and over and over again. He even came out and he's even said he lied. Oh, it was just arbitrary, the 6 feet distancing and all this. And too many people were just falling hook, line, and sinker for this stuff. At the very beginning, I was very skeptical too. And I actually, you know, I was like, how much did I weighed like 83 kilos. So then I lost a lot of weight, you know, because one fact that was true, that and I wasn't really overweight, but I was too heavy. And but the one thing that came through was that you being overweight is actually worse than anything when you get COVID. So anyway, I was kind of buying into it, and I needed an excuse to lose weight anyway. So I started jogging then, and I went down to, like, at that time it was like 73 kilos. Right now I believe I am like 77 kilos, so I need to lose at least 4 more kilos. I'll start jogging again because my school might be out in about 1 week. It might be my last week, this one coming up here. So, but anyway, this covid.gov is actually now telling a lot of the truth. I don't know if YouTube is actually going to start going into the truth, or they're going to still continue to support lies and things like that, you know, to make us all scared and to have a reason to get rid of people, you know, that are not, you know, what is it called, monetized and all that sort of a deal, to get them lots of money, you know. It's all about money, 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 money. So, concluding with YouTube. YouTube makes a lot of money, and a lot of time people are thinking, oh, they don't make money on this and that and the other. But they do. They make huge sums of money. They make huge sums of money. They have a lot of deals you don't even know about. It's just like what I was telling you about the music. You know, they have deals with these companies, you know, and that's why you can't, you can have music, I believe, on, I'm almost positive, you can have it on Rumble, and you can play a song for a certain amount of time or whatever on, what is it called, TikTok and all that. But TikTok, I guess they make money on that too. So you can, I think you can play, I don't know, what is it, 20 seconds of a song, and then you got to stop, otherwise they're gonna, I don't know what the heck they do with you. I haven't been on TikTok for a long time, but a lot of things you can play music. And of course, Belarus is supposed to be coming out with a like an alternative to YouTube, but there is an alternative already in Russian. It's called RuTube, and I have to look into that a lot more. And I don't, you know, and I'm not, like I said, out to make a lot of money, but I don't know. It's not that important anyway. I have my reasons for doing this, and I've told you guys, you know, it's a lot of time. It's to get it off my chest, you know. Kind of bothers me, all the stuff that goes on in the world, everybody lying and lying and lying, and I have a lot more respect for the truth, and a lot of you that watch this, you certainly do too. You'd rather, I don't know, I guess, which pill? Take the red pill in the Matrix rather than the blue pill? I don't know. I'd rather get the truth, and then you know how things are going. It's sort of like, you know, the United States, it's just like this fake US dollar, which is a fiat currency, and they just print it up, you know, at random. Whenever they need some money, they print a whole bunch, and everybody's got to accept it. It's not backed by anything. It's fake. It's a fake. And you know, the big question is, of when is it going to end? Anyway, I won't go into that. I talked yesterday also about Fort Knox. When are they going to audit the gold in Fort Knox to see if there actually is any gold there, or how much is, you know? And it's also known that a lot of time they coat, like they have these fake bricks and they coat it with gold. It maybe has a very thin layer of gold around it, but you cut the inside, and it's like, a lot of the time it's tungsten. And tungsten, it would be difficult anyway. I think it needs a very high temperature to to melt tungsten, to make these bricks even, but it has a similar molecular weight as gold. So you see the size, you measure it, and you weigh it, and it appears to be gold. And people that cut it open, they find out the entire core is tungsten. It's not gold at all. You know that they were fooled. Anyway, so any of you that have what is it, $50,000 to buy a gold bar, be careful. I don't know. Okay. So I don't know when my bad boy thing is gonna outrun here, but I think it's a couple more weeks. I think I should look that up, you know, to where I can actually then start talking a little bit more freely about COVID, you know, and the, you know, I don't know. And I think a lot of that is if you're not allowed to talk about the biological research laboratories in Ukraine because they don't want you to talk about that either. And of course, most of them moved, and the United States moved them to Africa, a lot of them, and to other countries. They even have some in Kazakhstan and all that. It's the United States, I tell you what, and the Biden family, they're involved in that, you know, with, what is it, Rosemont Seneca. Anyway, talked about that stuff. Okay. But Fauci, he's off the hook. Biden gave him a blanket pardon for everything. Even though he wasn't even being convicted at the time, he got a pardon. He wasn't convicted at all, never went to court for all of the lies and the things that he came with and stuff that, I mean, a lot of people say that he should have the death penalty many, many times over because of all of the people that died at the hands of Anthony Fauci. But anyway, so Biden gave him a blanket pardon, so he got a pardon for all of the crimes that he's done. Terrible. So, what else? Israel, they continue bombing Gaza. Yesterday, you know, amongst other hits, they hit a refugee camp, and so far the death toll is 54, and of course there's going to be a lot more people dying from their injuries. Here's a swimming hall, by the way. I don't think it's open in the back. They have like exercise machines. Let me, looks like it might be locked. Anyway, I've walked in there before. In the days, I guess it's open, and I guess you can go back there and use the exercises machines, like bench press sort of stuff and all that, but it's not with weights. It's, I don't know, I guess you can adjust it and make it harder or easier. I don't know, I'm not a gym person. So, 54 dead so far. It'll probably go up to 60. And they bombed in other places. They even have a video footage of the bomb flying and hitting. It was even in daylight hours, flying in and hitting the tents. You know, all a bunch of tents there, and huge bomb. And it's just like the United States is bombing the crap out of Yemen too. And somebody was filming that. You know, I guess it's 24/7, but the film footage I saw was at night. I guess because at nighttime you can see the flash of the bombs all over in the capital, and it's hard to say how many people altogether the U.S. has actually killed. I'm sort of thinking, you know, because at one time, it was just some weeks ago, I think it was Yemen, saying that it was like 200 and something people, but I am actually wondering if it's much more than that, much more than that, because they're constantly bombing. If you're doing bombing 24/7 in the city, you know, even if it is some military place, which I doubt it a lot of the time, or a factory, you might have some security guards there, and they're killing them as well. And speaking about something like that, you look at what Merz is doing, and Maria Zakharova said that it's very possible that this Merz, this new leader stepping in for Germany, he's going to be, you know, where Germany is going to be again key for starting another world war. So, because he's really itching, he really wants to go to war against Russia. And obviously that's what put him into power is, as I say, the more you hate Russia, the better chances you have of becoming the leader of a country. And Maya Sandu, as you all know, in Moldova, she is really trying to go overboard, even though the majority of her people are not in favor of her agenda whatsoever. LGBT, you know, the promotion of homosexuality and all that sort of stuff coming in, and the hate Russia, hate Russia, you know, and whatever, anything that goes along with this. It's just that agenda that has been going around for a long time, and a lot of these leaders in these countries make it sound, oh, this is just natural. This is the way it should be. This is what good people do. It's like, what? And yeah, LGBT, mutilating your children, cutting off their junk if they're a boy, and pumping them with massive amounts of hormones if they're a girl, to make sure that they're going to be really, really messed up by the time they're through with their puberty. And they're going to be really messed up. And even people that are past puberty, constant hormone injections, things like that. Really, and they do their best to try to convince a lot of children that they actually want to be of the other sex. So they want to screw people up. I don't really know what's going on in the world, you guys. And like I said, this war even against Christianity, this might be part of this as well. And get rid of Assad, the brutal leader Assad, that we don't know what he did that was actually brutal, but he's a brutal leader. And the real truth is, let's talk about the real truth that nobody really ever talks about. I've said it a few times, and it is the real truth. The real truth is Bashar Assad was too much of a nice guy. He was way too much of a nice guy. He was very forgiving. And that's one reason why he was easy prey for these people to get rid of. And everybody jumped on board. Some things were going on in Syria. It had nothing to do with Bashar Assad. And Israel was, of course, as heavily involved in causing whatever the heck was going on that was negative in there. And then they started the civil war. That was all about the pipelines as well, mostly about the pipelines. And now that Bashar Assad is gone, and this other, I guess, leader apparently was put in by Turkey, and of course he is also very subservient to Israel. He will let Israel do whatever Israel wants to do to Syria. And Turkey, of course, took over a big, well, kind of. They have building military bases, and right now, there's like some kind of agreement going on, or negotiations between. It's sort of like the Sykes-Picot Agreement back in 1917, and as a matter of fact, it even involved Syria, that Sykes-Picot Agreement. And right now, it's like a mini Sykes-Picot Agreement between Israel and Turkey, and they're sort of dividing on who gets what part of Syria. And I don't know about Donald Trump. He's reducing the staff of the American military there. And I think they only had about a battalion anyway, which was about 2,000 people. And I guess he's reducing it by 1,000. So it's going to be 1,000 people. And a lot of what the United States was doing, I don't know about what's going to happen under Donald Trump, but they were just directing the terrorists, because there are, terrorist groupings around that area. This was the case. I don't know what it is now, but this was the case maybe before the fall of Bashar Assad, and they were directing these terrorist groups, the United States, and telling them what to do and giving them training in their posts and all that, to carry out terrorist activities. While the United States was there, and they were also, in a large part, they were controlling what goes on from Iraq, and they were stealing the oil, and they're probably still stealing the oil. And even Donald Trump was a big advocate. We got to get the oil, what he said about Iraq. And I don't know. There's not that much oil really in Syria, but I'm assuming that that's he's getting the oil as well. Still, I don't see why Trump would walk away from that, because after we see his attitude. Okay. Oh, the world's leading cause of death of children. Guess what? Guess what is it? What is causing child deaths in the world? What is the number one leading cause of death of children? I mean, do you think it's heart disease or even cancer? Cancer is getting big now with children since the days of, Pfizer and AstraZeneca and all that, which I probably can't say that. I can't be exact on that because I might get in trouble. But the leading cause of death of children, I guess now, I didn't really mark what that time period was. Was it the year 2024, or was it for the last year? But anyway, the leading cause is Israel. So Israel has killed more children than any sickness, disease, or anything globally. Israel is the number 1 leading cause of death of children in the world. Wow. They've killed so many children. I think the amount is in maybe what, 23, 20, I don't know. In 2 years, it's maybe 20,000 children. 20,000 children. 20,000 children in 2 years that they killed. Wow. And then we're looking at how tragic it was when Kiev was disobeying the Minsk Accords, and it took them 8 years to kill 14,000 people. And we thought that was bad. And that was bad. 14,000 people by disobeying the Minsk Accords and bombing and killing civilians in eastern Ukraine. That's how they love their people, as you know. I mean, if you want to inspire the love of the people of East Ukraine to stay in the country of being a part of Ukraine, you bomb them. You bomb them and kill them. You bomb the children in the school buses and things like that, which they did at least at one time. And, you crucify people upside down, that are living in the outskirts of the towns. I mean, that's the way to get them to love you, isn't it? Lock them in the basements and then throw grenades in there. I mean, that's the way to get love, that's love. Reunite you with your maker. Introduce you to Jesus again, I guess. Wow. Okay, but anyway, Israel, the two nice, like Israel's what is that? I mean, just consider. They're the most moral army in the world, Israel. I mean, don't you know that? Because they say that. It's just like Zelensky. He said he's an honest man. So therefore, he's an honest man. Israel says they're the most moral army in the world. So they must be the most moral army in the world. I mean, doesn't that make sense to everybody? They say so, so it must be true. And they wouldn't lie to you because they're honest men. Yes. Yeah, okay, anyway. So Israel, what did they kill? They killed 54 people in that bombing yesterday when they hit the tents. I already said that. It'll definitely be up to 60, if not more. How many wounded? I don't even know. They didn't even say that. Wow, 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 wow. And I already talked about the ceasefire going on. Mm-hmm. The Houthis have now, even within 24 hours, they shot down 2 of these $30 million drones from the United States, this MQ-9. So that makes 21 drones now. Yes, the United States, all their bombing of Yemen, they even bombed a cemetery. So they wanted to make damn sure those dead people were dead. They better stay dead. Oh, this is that's probably going to be a cherry tree. Oh, wow, nice smell. Listen to the birdies. Ah, nice scents. I wonder if that's a big cherry tree. Anyway. Okay, that's mostly all I wanted to say. That's the end of this video. And hope you all are having a good Easter. And, oh, by the way, the holy fire that Archbishop from Moldova was going to Jerusalem to bring back to Moldova, and he was blocked by the loving government, democracy, freedom of religion, Maya Sandow. He was blocked twice to make sure that he can't go. It makes you wonder, what the heck? Why? Anyway, there was 2 other Orthodox Church officials that went down there earlier. I guess they went enough in advance to where they couldn't get blocked, and they brought back the holy fire. I guess I don't even know how they got it back, but they got it back into Moldova. So the holy fire for the Orthodox Christians has made it back to Moldova. So I don't know. I really don't know what the Moldovan government was trying to accomplish. I don't even know if the Orthodox Church knows what they were trying to accomplish. I don't know. It looks like whatever it was, it didn't work because the holy fire made it back there. And of course it is, as we said yesterday, you know, there's a war. It's definitely on Christianity. And of course she probably pledges to go along if, you know, she's trying to get into the European Union. And I don't think she has, as a matter of fact, Zelensky didn't have the hearts and minds of the people, but they just, you know, he has enough goons and green shirts to enforce whatever he wanted. So, and Poroshenko as well. Poroshenko is actually the guy that started that, to get rid of the Orthodox Church in Ukraine. And they kicked out all the priests, they bullied him, put him in jail and stuff, because they're all bad people, because they're religious and they believe in the love of mankind and Jesus, and I guess that's evil stuff. So anyway, they got rid of them, and then they put up that fake church, and they put like fake priests and all sorts of fake people inside of this, and you know, they made it, dressed it up, and they even gave it a name. They called it the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, rather than what it used to be called was the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, always just to fool people. But they changed some of the symbols that have been around for like over 1,000 years. And, you know, and they put their own kind of Ukrainianish type of, but anyway, the Orthodox Christians all over the world look at that as being terrible. And then I think they either threatened or paid off some kind of a church official in Istanbul to approve of that church. So anyway, terrible stuff. So, but I guess it's because it's Russian, they want to exterminate everything and anything that has anything to do with Russian, which is actually them. The first Russian capital was the Kievan Rus. That was in Kiev, Kievan Rus. And, you know, they probably don't like that word either, Rus, because it sounds too much like Russia. Yeah. So anyway, but anyway, the Mongols came through and they kicked their butts anyway, in the old days, whoever they were. And I think they were rescued by more of the people that came from the area that we now today know as Russia. So anyway, but anyway, I don't know if I have anything else more to say. You can start ragging on a lot of things like this. But you guys, I appreciate your comments and tuning in. And like I said, if I have one more week, I don't know how much I'm going to be doing this channel. I might very soon after finishing the school get some kind of work. I don't know. There's a few things I was going to look into. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't entirely depend on me. So I won't even get into that. But okay. So have a happy Easter and what's left of it, and hope everything works out with peace. Not piss, with peace. And anyway, I don't really know what to say. Just thanks and have a nice weekend, the rest of it. Bye-bye, everybody.